She loves me not. She loves me not. Tobert lied to Mabel, yet that lie may have started a new relationship. Charles told the truth to Joy, and it may have ended their relationship for good. Loretta lied by omission to Oliver, and she may have ruined their relationship before it starts. We're at the halfway point of the season. Some pathways have led to dead ends, while other pathways have led to more questions. Ben and Loretta's fight. Might a little brat make a mommy go splat? Loretta as a parental figure. Might a mother keep a scrapbook of her son? But which one is the son? Ben or Dickie? Let's solve Only Murders in the Building. Season 3, Episode 5, Love. Charles, Mabel, and Oliver take their relationships to the next stage on a date night that may reveal many hidden secrets. We'll be breaking down each episode for clues, suspects, and red herrings on the hunt to learn who killed Ben Glenroy. Spoilers for the first 3 seasons up through episode 5 of season 3 of Only Murders in the Building. If you haven't seen all these episodes, pause this video, take a Tooth Fairy tour of the East River, and then come back and watch. Note, at the very end of this video, after your feedback, we're going to review a spoiler that came out of an early review of season 3. If you don't want spoilers, stay away, but this spoiler may, repeat, may, lock this season's questions into place. Hey, let's jump to the double C credit clues. In the opening Easter egg of the credits, smoke is forming hearts. Love. Use the timestamps below to jump to the topic or suspect you want to listen to and skip past the stuff you don't want to listen to. Longtime listeners know I've gotten pretty good at the YouTube and podcast apps like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, making me stress every episode that I need your likes on the videos, your comments, your 5-star written reviews, and most importantly, for everybody to click subscribe. And with each podcast, I probably annoy you with my constant begging for those things. But I've probably not gotten very good and forgot to do something, and that's to talk about this video's purpose. I titled this, Let's Solve Only Murders in the Building. I didn't title these videos, I Will Solve Only Murders in the Building. The title is Let's Solve because I thought I'd create a video of all the clues we could spot, and then we could solve it together. That's why at the end of each podcast, I read your feedback, because together we're going to solve these fun murder mysteries. So if you're new to us and you've just joined us on these videos, please do leave a comment and read the comments from the other Arconiacs on the Clue Crew. Know that I don't often go back and review clues or things we talk about on other videos. Therefore, if you hear me refer to the producer's theory, or the Aunt Loretta theory, or the Ben talks to Cookie theory, or the twin and triplets theory, and you're wondering what I'm talking about, just jump back and look at these previous season 3 videos. Lastly, I want to read some feedback here at the top from Steven, who wrote, I like your recaps and analysis most of the time, but I don't see the twin theory and I wish you would spend less time on it. I am lively, and Thomas also said they don't like it and they're not sold on it and they're not a fan of the twin theory. I think that's good feedback, and I do think some of the recent videos have almost been too focused on the twin or triplets theory when it may be a producer mistake. I think we do have to refer to it, but I'm going to try to stay focused on the clues in this episode, episode 5, rather than always looking at everything through the lens of a twin or triplet theory. Currently, we're wrapping up the other comedy murder mystery on TV right now, The After Party. In some of our after-show podcasts, which are perfect for your drive to work or your workout, we've started covering Star Wars Ahsoka last week, and Double M will begin his coverage of The Wheel of Time Season 2 later this week. We'd love you to be a part of all the silly things we do here at Double P Podcast. Before we run down the suspects, let's see what Episode 5 taught us about the victim, actor Ben Glenroy. According to Tobert, Ben had a private doctor, a celebrity concierge who would fill out prescriptions, whichever prescription the patient wants. Let's hear your predictions. What medicine did Ben Glenroy need? Based on his personality, maybe some schizophrenia medication. On opening night, 30 minutes before the curtain opened, Ben and Loretta got in a big fight at the top of the lighthouse. Ben said Loretta was obsessed with him, and Loretta yelled back at him, "Let go of me, you effing pig." Charles tried to break it up. He called out, "What the hell's going on?" Loretta claimed Ben attacked her, but Ben disputed that. He said he and Loretta were rehearsing, and he told Charles to stay out of his business. Charles hits the left side of Ben's face, but note, at the after party, there's a mark on Ben's right side of his face. According to Loretta, Ben was terrible to everyone, and that seems true. But Loretta makes a special note that he was terrible to his brother Dickie. We learn a bit about Ben from these articles that Loretta has at her apartment. Ben gave a commencement address at a St. Louis high school. Does that imply a connection to Loretta, who talked about going out on the river? Ben is on the red carpet roundup. Ben took a vacation to the beach. Who's he dating? Ben Glenroy spotted with mysterious woman outside exclusive Los Angeles sushi spot? Will Ben Glenroy next be the face of... Ben Glenroy walked us through what he eats every day, and it's crazy. Lots of mangoes. Look at this one article sticking out. Category is dropouts. Answer, who is Ben Glenroy? And then if we read the article, Glenroy yaks on yak. Seriously. Hollywood is abuzz with the news that heartthrob Ben Glenroy, best known for his hit TV show Girl Cop, has backed out of next week's appearance on Celebrity Jeopardy. Sources close to the actor and current spokesperson for an anti-gingivitis mouthwash said that he didn't realize the show wasn't scripted. Somebody gives a quote and they're stone cold. Ben can barely remember to wipe his own... Ouch. Glenroy shares his Broadway dreams. Glenroy announces plan to take center stage. And up top it says Ben Glenroy, this celebrity couple, parentheses awkward, Ben Glenroy out shopping on the town. Ben Glenroy, t-shirt gate continued. The megastar, known for his especially firm abdomen, wore an offensive t-shirt to meet the Pope. But there's more to the story. Ben Glenroy, whose film CoBro broke box office records last year and cemented him as both a mega action star and a creative visionary, is no stranger to controversy. He caused international uproar last year after he made comments about Dolly Parton while presenting her with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Nashville School for the Blind. And no, we're not repeating what he said. Then there was the letter he anonymously sent to Queen Latifah, followed by a series of outbursts on multiple late-night shows, which the star attributed to a since-resolved medication imbalance. But when the A-lister met the Pope last week, wearing a shirt emblazoned with the word man-whore, millions of God-fearing fans finally said, enough is enough. Glenroy's team claimed there was a mix-up, and he was wearing the shirt under a sweater that he was never supposed to take off. But now sources close to the star say that this was all a carefully planned prank. It certainly wouldn't be out of character, with Glenroy stating multiple times that he's beefing with the head of the Catholic Church. Why? I never trust a Catholic who wears a yarmulke. Touché. The t-shirt is the latest piece by streetwear designer Skunk and retails for $7,500. Not too shabby. Now let's look at the suspects. Loretta Durkin. Loretta and Oliver have a date at her apartment. She's making dinner. After spending a good bit of time together, Loretta didn't know about Oliver's dips-only dining options. If Loretta is related to rich superstar Ben Glenroy, she did not see much money. She has a Murphy bed, pull-down bed, small apartment. Now we learn more about her. In her 30s, which I believe would be the 80s, she was in a production of Charlotte's Web on a cruise ship. Loretta didn't like Ben. Effing pig is her word for him. Now she's hip, she's got a flask and a joint, and she's friends with somebody that Oliver knows, Babette. She and Oliver were in Studio 54 at the same time together. Loretta claims she would have killed to be in one of Oliver's earlier productions. Now she did talk about the struggles of being an actress, but she doesn't reveal too much. She doesn't answer Oliver's question when he asks her why she went from Lucky Durkin to be so unlucky, what she did to deserve this. Loretta makes a special note that Ben was terrible to Dickie. She does mention that her mom would take her out on the Mississippi River. Is that near St. Louis? And when we look at this scrapbook of Ben Glenroy, is this really a scrapbook of Ben? Or is this scrapbook really about Dickie, who's in every photo? In fact, some of these articles show that she doesn't care about the headline or what's written in the article. She just cares about the picture. Is this another clue that she's doing this scrapbook about Dickie? For the second week in a row, Dickie wasn't in the episode, but his picture is in all of these pictures of Ben. He's always behind Ben, a perfect position to push him down an elevator shaft. Again, there is going to be a spoiler at the very end of this podcast, after feedback. Tobert and Mabel have a stakeout, which is really a date, where they go see Jonathan sing a song. Tobert believes it's a little white lie he told to get Mabel out on this date. Speaking of his past, Tobert says he's been moving around so much that he doesn't really have a crew. Does he want Mabel to be his crew? Tobert must have made a good enough impression because he is shown the murder board and he spends the night with Mabel. Is this too soon? Do you guys think we're going to be ending with Tobert as a big suspect? Jonathan. Jonathan volunteers at Broadway Cares, and he has a great voice. Jonathan meets Ben's doctor, Dr. C. No, not Mr. C. I said not Mr. C, this is Dr. C. And after he performs, they exchange an envelope and a sheet of paper. People online are speculating that Jonathan is getting some allergy medicine from being around all of Howard's cats. Joy. Joy gets the monologue in this episode. She's breaking glass. It sounds very angry for the fish tanks. In her monologue, she asks if she's sleeping next to a lunatic or a liar. Is Charles both? Now, Joy is not completely innocent. She avoids Charles's questions. Joy says she doesn't like bullies, so there's no way she could have liked Ben Glenroy. On opening night, Howard called Joy, and he pulled her to Ben because Ben had been hit on the face, and they wanted her to touch up his makeup. Joy snaps. She finds out how little Charles has been telling her. She finds out how close Charles is to Sazz, and to Oliver, and to Mabel, not to her. She snaps and breaks it off. Sazz. Sazz is a little bitter about not getting the understudy part in Death Rattle or Death Rattle Dazzle. Sazz, can you believe it, is still seeing season 1's killer Jan. Oliver Putnam. Oliver's been out of the game so long, he doesn't have any game. He lost a tooth to solid food. Ouch. Oliver is falling very hard for Loretta. He's going to be in trouble. How do you think he'll react to what he found at the end of the episode? Charles Hayden Savage. Here we are halfway through season 3, and we finally find out what Charles was talking about when he spoke to Ben at the end of season 2. Charles's lines include, "Good luck tonight. Good luck is a curse. Hey, we've got 2.5 hours to get through. If I can do it, so can you. Be smart. Stay away from her. Ben, I know what you did." When Charles said stay away from her, was he talking about Loretta? Charles has MGDS, murderous girlfriend derangement syndrome, and Charles is afraid of lowercase j Joy. What do you guys think about this relationship? Did Charles commit a terrible faux pas by telling Joy that he didn't really mean to propose to her? Or is it smart to be honest? What do you guys think? Mabel Mora. Mabel calls the olds her best buds, and she shows Tobert the murder board. Ooh, didn't you think that's a bit too soon? How soon until the suspicion turns to Tobert? Now let's get to your feedback. Both Timothy and Sherry and a couple other people have written in and said, what if Ben's first death, that's where he collapsed on the stage of the Gooseberry Theater, what if that was actually a White Room event and there really is just one killer? Boy, that is a smart thought, guys. Think about that. Ben goes out on stage, panics, collapses in the White Room. Katie wrote, I've been wondering if Loretta is Ben's mother and she gave up him to pursue her dream of acting. Lisa wrote, what if the triplet babies aren't representing a killer or anything, but representing the 3 detectives? 2 are similar in the way that Oliver and Charles are both similar, they're old white men, and 1 is different, Mabel as a young woman. Love that thought. Lisa goes a bit further to say, well, what if Ben got killed by all 3 of them? Man. Adam wrote an opinion that I saw a lot of people write. It can't be Joy or Loretta. I refuse to believe the writers would go back to it's the new love interest again. That would be lazy writing. Desnes wrote, what if the killer is the person who bought the handkerchief on eBay? Wow, now that would be a fun twist. I like it. Alexis wrote, did anyone else catch that the jade egg that Cinda references being nestled in her private parts is the thing that Dickie throws in anger in Ben's apartment breaking the lamp? Alexis, I'm going to let you run with this theory so I don't get demonetized on YouTube, but I do think it's a hilarious coincidence or clue. We do have a lot of feedback on the twin or triplet talk. First up, T-Dog wrote, Ben was a twin. He and his identical brother were sharing a career. The nastier twin poisoned the other one so that he could live his life just as one person. Then Dickie pushed the remaining Ben down the elevator shaft in anger. JT imagines opening night something like this. Ben 1 calls Ben 2 to take over the opening monologue of the play due to the red mark on his face. Because Ben 2 is not as familiar with the role, he goes to the White Room and he fakes Ben's death. At the party, Ben 2 calls Ben 1 and they arrange to meet. Ben 2 brings the baby with him, and in the ensuing argument, the baby drops a rattle and Glenn 1 slips and falls on the rattle and trips down the elevator shaft to his death. In JT's theory, Ben 1 is dead, but Ben 2 is still alive out there somewhere. Holly guesses that Loretta is the character with a twin. There are two Lorettas, one who's really confident and good at acting, see her audition for Death Rattle, and the other one who's not as good, see the table read. She believes in the end one Loretta saved Ben, but the other one killed him. Love these ideas. A user with the handle The Makeup Chair wrote, 2 lines stick out to me. In the second episode, the cop says, "Isn't there 3 of you?" The other line the Makeup Chair points out is Mabel saying, "A coincidence is like meeting somebody that you share a birthday with. Who shares a birthday? Twins or triplets?" The Makeup Chair believes these lines are subtle clues to what's going on. And I would respond to the Makeup Chair that back when Ben was talking about being fired from the role of Timothy Bush, boy genius, on Brazos at age 8, Charles asked Ben, "Did you act a lot with your hands?" At the time, I wondered if that was a subtle nod to the audience to look at Ben's hands, where those infamous finger tattoos are. Natalie wrote, Ben says that he was supporting his mother and his brother. Now, Dickie is, say, a younger brother, maybe 8 years younger than Ben or more, that it's possible he wasn't born at the time that Ben was on Brazos trying to support his sibling and his mother. Finally, we got this theory from IC Rockets, which I really love. We could conceivably have a situation where Ben 2 poisoned Ben 1 on opening night. He hid the body somewhere during the commotion after the death. Perhaps that's the reason why the Gooseberry Theater smells bad when Mabel and Oliver come back in. Because there's an undiscovered dead body somewhere waiting to be found at the very end of a future episode. There's so much more good feedback that I don't have time to read it all. You know what to do. If you're on YouTube, go down in the comments, leave it to us. You can email us, hello@doublepmedia.com. All your social media apps know it's @PPHQ. Okay, let's get to this spoiler, and I don't even like talking about it, but it's out there, so I think we do need to say it. Television critics were given the first 8 episodes of Season 3, and TheWrap.com wrote a review of the season, where they wrote this spoiler in the review. They refer to Dickie as Ben's manager and adopted brother. In our video about Episode 2, we pointed out Loretta had those messages calling her an aunt, but is it possible she gave up a son for adoption, Dickie, and he got adopted to be Ben Glenroy's brother? If this happened, how old was Ben when it happened? Was Dickie the brother who Ben was supporting when he was trying to get on Brazos? It really does feel like Loretta's scrapbook is about Dickie, and she gave up Dickie as a child so she could go for her dream of being a Broadway actress. Does Dickie know Loretta is his mother? What do you guys think? And finally, I want to prove I've been practicing it. Last week, I did it on the first take. This week, I've been practicing it, so let's see if we can do it. Which of the Pickwick triplets did it? Who of the crew could commit this crime? Might a little brat make a mommy go splat? It's a story pretty gory for a nursery rhyme. Which of the Pickwick triplets did it? Which little putz had the guts to kill? As a forensic pediatrician, I'll complete this inquisition. I will name the neonatal from the cradle that proved fatal. I will find the perpetrator that did murder to their maker. Coochie coochie coo, time for you to admit it. So quick as a whip, gotta pick which trip. Oh, I failed right at the very end. Son of a gun, dang it. Okay, well, that's it for this week. Come back next week for Season 3, Episode 6, Ghost Light. What do you think Ghost Light is about? Let me know in the comments. Talk to you next week, Arconiacs.